we just got some of the worst physical media news that we have ever seen. And I don't exaggerate when I say that. I know a lot of people like to get hyperbolic with these videos to get the clicks. I'm not saying this to be hyperbolic, but genuinely, this is horrible news. And let me explain. So for some context, basically the story I'm breaking down is Disney fired a shit ton of their physical media department to put out less stuff. People thought because the new CEO coming in that they might expand some of it or whatever. They were working with Sony to put out stuff, and it seemed like we were getting some of that back catalog stuff. Not as much as we nearly should. It's very bare bones. Like, basically, like Fight Club Steelbook, cool. We'll get an announcement like that, and then we'll get like one other announcement like a month later, and then we'll get a couple of like, hey, Avatar 3 is coming to 4K. Something random like one of the new big movies, right? There isn't enough back catalog stuff. But what's upsetting to me, it's upsetting, right? It's been upsetting to a lot of collectors, and there's been a lot of shitty things happening with the physical media department. For one, before this, there's been a few problems with Disney's physical media department. Number one, Disney is a large company. They own like a ton of stuff. So, like, it was one thing when they weren't putting out that much stuff and it was just Disney stuff. But now it's like, hey, they got Marvel and Star Wars, and now we're lacking some of that content. Like, I have here on disc, which I know is a streaming show, but still, I got Mandalorian seasons 1 through 3. I cannot watch season 3 without seeing Book of Boba Fett, so I have to watch that on streaming. You know what I'm saying? Or stuff like Andor. I got season 1, but we'll probably never get season 2, And then it got worse when they bought Fox, because Fox was actually still putting out stuff. We were still getting stuff, back catalog Blu-rays and 4Ks. Now it's nothing. And it's been very frustrating for us physical media fans. And so now Disney owns all these things, and they're not making discs. And if they are, it's very few and far between. And they're letting big hit movies go out of print. Things that legitimately, don't make any sense to go out of print. Let me pull out an example here. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, this is taking here. I got Ready or Not on Blu-ray. This sells for a lot of money. Why? Because it's out of print. But a sequel just came out. Does that make sense to you? Like, if this was Universal or Warner Brothers or whatever studio, if they were going to make a sequel to a movie, you know what they do? They'd either upgrade this to 4K or reprint the Blu-ray or something. Doesn't always happen that way, but majority of these companies work like this. Like, oh, we got a new one, we can do that. They're smart like that. But Disney is literally just letting their big movies and go out of print. So what do you think's happened to the smaller ones, like the Marilyn Monroe movies, or I don't know, there's a Boots Riley movie that I want to get. I forget the name of it, and I want to buy that. Well, guess what? Can't buy that because the Blu-ray goes for $80. It is insanity the way Disney has taken their physical media and just let it all go. So many movies that, we're talking best picture winning movies, award winning movies. We're talking movies that are part of big franchises. It doesn't really matter what it is. They've either not released the entire series or released, all the movies or whatever it is. And now we're in this weird situation where fans want this stuff. We can't buy it. I know what you're going to say. Well, it's on streaming. Well, I'm going to show you something back here, okay? I got this sitting back here. Splash. This is an old DVD. In fact, when did this DVD come out? Does it say? It says like 1994, something like that. So around that time. Okay, this is a really old DVD. This is a later reprint, but it's basically the same one they put out years ago. This movie is censored on Disney Plus. If you want to see the original version, guess what? This is the only way to watch it. There's no Blu-ray, there's no nothing. Do you really want to live in a world where these multi-billion-dollar corporations are feeding you slop and telling you how you're supposed to watch the movie because they decided they didn't want you to see that mermaid's ass? It doesn't make any sense, guys. And I know that, hey, the general public does not care. But here's the thing. It doesn't really matter if the general public doesn't care about physical media anymore. You know why? Because other companies have understood that this is a collector market and made it go towards us. Lionsgate Limited, despite my problems with that website and not being a fan of it, guess what? That's great that they get those out at least. You know, I personally don't like that method, but that's one method. You got Arrow Videos giving us big chunky box sets. You got Universal has their own website where they're releasing these things and they're giving you good deals on pre-orders and launching all kinds of cool deals. You know, they had Disney Movie Club, but it wasn't as effective or as useful as it could have been. I say that as someone who loved Disney Movie Club. But like they're taking your options away from you, the collector, the movie fan, and everyone should be mad. Hell, the general public should be mad. Why can't I watch this movie uncut on Disney Plus? If you're gonna tell me, fine, you can't buy the physical anymore, that's one thing. But then to tell me, oh, you can't stream it uncut, even though they own it. This is nonsense. Censorship is evil. It really is. Gravity Falls is censored. Like, it doesn't matter how unpopular or popular the show or movie is. It's out of print on Blu-ray and it's censored on Disney Plus. Sometimes the censorship's actually I don't mind too much. Like Lilo and Stitch, I think there was a story about some kid actually crawling into a dryer and they edited that on Disney Plus. And that doesn't bother me too much, but like still a lot of this is wild stuff. So I'm really upset by a lot of this stuff going on. And I and then there's just the problem of like even the releases they do put out are terrible. I really love having all the Disney animated movies. All of them are back there. Every single Disney animated movie that Walt Disney Animation Studios did. I'm emphasizing that because they have like other movies like The Wild that weren't made by Walt Disney Animation Studios. They also have movies like Pixar stuff. But like I have all those, but I want to get the new ones on 4K. Well, they told us Steelbook only. So I have the Blu-ray back there for Zootopia 2, not the 4K. Why? Because the Steelbook is $50 and people who pre-ordered it didn't even get guaranteed to actually get the damn thing. They didn't actually get the Steelbook. Are you fucking kidding me? I got cancellation notices because Disney didn't print enough for the movie that made $1 billion last year. And this came out in March. That movie had made enough money for them to know, oh, we should put out a standard 4K. They just didn't care to. And so now we're in this weird status shit where like people are telling you, hey, I want this. And Disney's refusing to give it. And I think the other thing that we have to ask, does this mean Universal's going to stop doing that? Does this mean Lionsgate's going to stop doing it? Does this mean Warner Brother or Paramount's going to do it? We know, like, Paramount, they haven't been putting a lot out. I really love the show Tulsa King. They stopped putting out Tulsa King Blu-rays. I'm still waiting on the last season of that to get a Blu-ray. They didn't put Star Trek Strange New Worlds. That has a 4K season 3. But they didn't do the slipcover version like the other seasons. They only did Steelbook only, and it was $50. We're in a slippery slope with these companies now. And we should be very worried. I'm not saying I expect Universal to jump out of the race, but I really think it's a matter of, I give it a year. I mean, we could get to the end of this year and here Disney will no longer make physical media, and we just be done. And I will be happy with the movies I have, but I'll also be sad that there's so much shit out there that these companies own that I can't have. And it'd be great to see if they can license some of that stuff to other boutiques, but Disney has always been really against that. It's just crazy shit. I don't know, man. I'm very upset by this. Very disturbed because I don't want to be a slave to the corporate masters, but I feel like we're going down that route. We are going to be slaves to these corporate machines when we should live in a society where we are allowed to have options. And we did have options, and we surrendered ourselves to the corporate people and told them, no, we like less options. We've surrendered to so many things, especially in American culture, of multi-billion-dollar companies just taking away our rights, and we've told them, yes, this is okay.